A new Florida law changes what it means to speak out in the state. Today, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation that lets the state officially designate groups as domestic terrorist organizations.
Our Capitol Bureau reporter Cody Butler tells us it is raising alarms among some civil liberties groups.
This summer, Florida courts won't be able to enforce a religious or foreign law. Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill aimed at preventing the Islamic code of law known as Sharia law in Florida courts during a news conference Monday.
We have some problems in this country, more than we should, with international terrorism.
The new law also allows the state's chief of domestic security to designate a domestic or foreign terrorist organization. The governor and the cabinet would then have to sign off. DeSantis already named the Council on American Islamic Relations and the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist organizations in an executive order in December.
We've been very strong in Florida from the beginning on all of this nonsense and doing whatever we can to keep the people of this state safe.
CARE says in a statement that the new law is an expanded and deeply flawed framework that can attack any organization that dares to dissent.
The point is to make people afraid to talk about certain things and shut out dissenting speech altogether.
The law also bans schools from spending state or federal money to support or promote designated terrorist organizations. The Florida chapter of PEN America's Sophia Brown says this is another way to limit free speech.
We foresee that this will make teachers, faculty, and students scared to cross this unclear line, again, because what it means to support or promote such an organization is defined only sometimes.
A federal judge issued an injunction on the executive order back in March. The law takes effect July 1st. In Tallahassee, I'm Cody Butler reporting.